This is a House of Logic video about LXC and templates. So what we've done in a previous video is we've deployed a couple of LXC containers with Turnkey Apache and Ubuntu, and we're going to focus on the Ubuntu one on this particular video. So what you might be interested in doing, let me just get the correct console open, is if you've got an application and you're deciding to scale things out, you may decide that you would like to package up different bits of configuration or application into the container for whatever reason, and then be able to go and roll that out. So we're going to basically do that on this Ubuntu container. So if we log, first of all, we're going to log in, and then we're going to do a very small piece of customization. So in the previous video, we've already created a test file, which if we just do less test file.txt just says hello Proxmox. But what we're going to do as well is we're going to install an application, something a bit silly. We're going to go apt install, and the app is called cow say. It pictures ASCII images of cows saying things. Just nice lightweight application we can install. So if we now type in cow say woof, for example, and the cow says woof, or anything else you want to feed to it. So cow say, have you ever eaten in a harvester? There we go, the cow saying that. So once that application has been installed, what you then would want to do is to then shut the container down. So we're going to do shutdown, power off. And that's going to shut that container down, so we can close off the console session to it. And we should soon see it go into a stop state. Now, there's a couple of different options for what you want to do with templates. So the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to clone this one, and we're going to just call it Ubuntu template for reasons that will soon become clear. Ubuntu template, let's change it actually, cowsay. And we're then going to hit the clone button, and after a few seconds this will have cloned that container. So it's currently in a locked state, and it should be done shortly. Okay, so that appears to have, not quite, no, that is finished. So now that's done, so we're actually now going to convert that to a template. So just going through the menu system, we can set that to be a template, and once that has converted, then what we can do is we can actually use that as a way of repeating what we've got within the same cluster. So let's clone it, and we're going to go with, we could go with linked clone, which will basically give us a delta of changes back to the original, or in our case, we're going to go with a full clone. So we're going to go with, call this one cowsay 1, and we're going to hit the clone button and wait for that process to complete. Okay, so cowsay 1 has finished cloning, and what we can do now is we can start that one up, and given a few seconds it should be up and running, and we can click the console button to connect to it. Okay, it's starting now, and here goes the console. Okay, that's already up and running. So you can see it's changed the host name on the machine, so we'll log in as root again, and now we're going to type in the password. Now, unlike when you do a normal template deployment, this is actually picked up, a normal normal LXC container deployment, where you get to specify the password or the SSH keys. This has actually taken the credentials from the image that we've created over at the Ubuntu template cowsay. Now, if we hit enter there, that should let us log in, assuming I've typed it correctly. No, I haven't. Let's try again. There we go, and we can do cowsay, or we should be able to do cowsay meow. There we are. And if we do ls, we can see we've got the test file again. Okay, so if you were just cloning your template as it is locally, without a need to change any credentials. That's probably enough in terms of what you'd want to do. And obviously that allows you to scale out and have different IP addresses, etc., etc. But it's very much taking that purely as an image as it is in that template state. However, there is another way that you can approach this. So if we log out of that, what we can do is we can actually create a fresh image which will then appear in the template listing. And this requires a little bit of console level command line. So if you look here in the container templates, which sits on the local storage here, we have the Debian and Ubuntu LXC templates that we downloaded, which were in this templates list here. But what you can do instead, so if we go back to the host and we click on console, or shell I should say, what that will then let us do is actually do some cloning. So to do this, what you want to do, so first go to your source container where you've customized things already, and we are going to go and remove the network interface. So this forms part of the process so that it can be reset when it goes through the deployment. So what you then do, going back to the host level shell, is you want to run some commands. So what you need to do is you need to put in vzdump, then the container number. So I'm just prepared this already. Mode is stop. You want to compress with gzip and put in the dump directory, which is var lib vz template and then cache. So if we run that command now, that will take a minute or two to complete. So I'll probably cut ahead to when that process is finished. Okay, so that has just finished creating the container backup. Now we're going to go and cd to the target directory there, which we'll just paste the command in here. So that takes us into the template cache folder. And if we do an ls, you'll note that we have a log file, a tar.gz file, and we've also got the other images. So if we actually go back to the local storage, you can note that you can see the vzdump file name there. Now, I don't want to leave it with that name because I want to make sure that it becomes a bit more recognizable. So if I come back out of there, we'll leave that on summary, and we'll go back into the hypervisor shell prompt there. So we're going to do a mv, and then we're going to do vz, and we're .tar, because it's picking up the log as well, and we're going to make this one now be calce Ubuntu calce template. Ubuntu calce, let's use that. If we want to give it a version number, so we'll call it _10, let's say, and then tar.gz, just to complete the extension. Now if we then hit enter, we can come out of there and go back into the CT templates, and there we have it. So we've actually got the calce container in our list of container templates. We can now go back to the hypervisor and decide that we're going to go and create a fresh container. So we'll call this one calce, let's call it calce2 for sake of argument. And we can then put in a password. Now I'm going to put in, it's prompting for a password, so I can put in a completely different password. So you have to trust me that this is different, but I can assure you it is. So this is different from the password that was used on the original template, or the original source image, I should say. So now we can choose the calce template image, and disk options as we would normally do for a normal LXC deployment, and we can set all of the other stuff to do with CPU, memory, network, etc. Again, we're going to choose DHCP just for the sake of argument, and we're going to use the host level DNS, and then we'll deploy. So this will take a moment or two, and once again I'll speed up the video, we'll cut ahead to when this bit's finished. Okay, so that's done. We can close the container create dialog and go back to our container, and then we can start it. Okay, so that's started. We'll click on the console. There it is. Again, you can see the host name has changed. And we'll log in as root. And this is now will require the password that we used at the deployment stage. And there we are. We're in. We'll do an ls. There's the test file again, which is not the most exciting test in the world, but proves the point. And then we can do calsay job done. There we are. So that may well be useful to you if you're looking to create LXC containers that you can then deploy going from one environment to another. Something you might want to do in like from a dev to a test environment or a test to production. It's a distinct possibility using this method. So once you've gone and created that template and you've got it within this directory or even wherever else you were to back it up to, in fact, you can then actually download that using WinSCP and basically be able to transfer it to a different environment using the upload option, and then you'd be able to deploy it to something else. So it's a pretty cool way of being able to create LXC containers, test them out based on the base images, and then do other things for yourself. That's about it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. If you feel like it, please do like and subscribe. That's your cup of tea. Other than that, thanks for watching, and we will catch you next time. Thanks very much. Bye now.